Short story, a week ago I bought a GTS300. It was advertised as attempted theft, steering lock stuck on, and so I shot straight round. It was £1,000. I shot straight round. It had been on marketplace for 12 minutes. So I shot straight round, had a look around it. My main concern was under the frame where the rot. That looks pretty awesome for a 12-year-old scooter that's got a lot of miles. It's clearly been well looked after. That looks good. I've had this bike all apart, totally rebuilt it, so I know roughly what the auto Vespas are in there to replace the steering, the key barrel and whatnot. Obviously I couldn't hear it running because of the steering lock issue. So I thought, not an issue. I know enough about scooters to get it running. And yeah, let's get into the video. So I've got a bit of a new project bike. I was just on Facebook Marketplace and noticed this has been on for about 12 minutes. So I messaged them straight away and then went round to have a look at it. I mean, there's a few bits, like there's a ding there. You can't see it at the moment. There's a right scrape on it that side, but basically it's an attempted theft. The steering lock at the moment is stuck on, so I'm going to have to take the plastics off and work out what's going on there. But fingers crossed, I've bought possibly the cheapest GTS out there. So I've dug into the electrics. I've got the back of the key barrel and I've got the battery exposed just in case I need to whip a terminal off quick to kill it. Just need the key back in it and I'm going to try and fire it up. However, it's a bit low on oil, so I'm not going to let it run too long. That didn't sound too hopeful. Hopefully it's a flat battery. Right, so this could be a make or break. Let's see if the motor's locked up, because it's clicking on the starter but it doesn't want to do anything. Oh, that's not good at all. That's really not good. Has the belt snapped? Ooh. Yeah, that's not good. Well, the belt's still in one piece. That's a slight positive. I'm not sure if that noise is normal. So it's not great. I've managed to rotate the lock. Let's get the steering lock off at least. And like I say, when I tried to rotate the engine, it wasn't having it. Let's see if we can zoom in. Where am I looking? Can you see that? So, the title of this video is a bit of a clickbait. Because I got stuck. So I'll give you the short story. Basically, I've seen a GTS300 for sale on Facebook Marketplace. I thought, wow, that's cheap. Shot straight over because it was also 10 miles away. Bought it. So I've just been to Beeston Marina to pick up an engine. GTS300 engine. Why on earth would I need another engine? So I did a bit this morning, managed to get the key barrel out without smashing it up. I think I've left that inside now. And took the plastics off the handlebars so I could get to that. And yeah, that's where I'm at now. I think I need to just take and evaluate what I need to do with the engine, as in to remove the one that's in it. So I'm going to whip the seat off, just have a work out whether I need to buy any clips, any Jubilee, hose clamps, all that nonsense. Because we've got an engine down there that should be good. So I've spent an hour or so on it. I've got throttle body off, I've got most of the wiring off, the fuel off, throttle cables off, some sensors off. So I think all it is the coolant pipes. So that's the shock bolt, lower suspension shock, is turning quite freely. But it's not coming off. There's the main engine bolt in there, that came off, that's loosened off nicely. Then, as it's now 11:15 at night, I probably ought to go to bed. I'm on a late shift tomorrow, so I don't start till 11:30 tomorrow morning at least. But yeah, it's probably a good time to go to bed. The ET, yeah, it's going to be time to say goodbye to that, because once I get this GTS on the road, the ET4 is going to have to get sold, because I haven't got room and there's no point having two auto scooters on the road, is there really? I can just tell this is going to go absolutely everywhere. Oh. Well, that went better than expected. I thought there should be 2 litres of coolant in this. Now the header tank. Ah, that's why. That's why it's airlocked. Last few bits to get the engine off. Obviously I've got that stuck bolt the other side. This one's going to come off easy. And I've just realised we've got a brake pipe to come off as well. Now the caliper wants some attention, because you can see it's not brilliant. So the caliper's going to want to come off the bike anyway. And I think, yeah, I'm going to have to transfer the caliper to the other engine as well. Ideally, obviously, what you would do is take the wheel off, then you're not dripping brake fluid on your wheel finish. This wheel's disgusting anyway, so I wasn't too fussed. And with that stuck bolt the other side, at the moment I can't get the wheel off. And oddly enough, the best fitting screwdriver for the brake reservoir, which one did I loosen? Anyway, the best fitting screwdriver for the brake reservoir is a JIS one. Well, I like the front end. I'll just address these brake levers. Some people love them, I'm not so keen. What they do, basically this dial here, you see how it's moving where the actual brake lever sits? It's just adjustable length to where your hand reaches, but they are the finest Chinesium, because look at how much play is in that bit. I don't trust this one bit. They'll be going in the bin. This is a bit annoying. Why would manufacturers do this? So I thought I'd take the mudguard off, just set something else out of the way. So I'll come to this Torx bit here. I'll do it left-handed. What does that Torx bit do? It just lets you in the light. Why on earth would you put the lights on a Torx bit. So that means if you have a brake light fail, you've got to have a specialist tool just to get into the brake light to change the bulb. This, however, is a pretty cool idea. So, top of the frame, obviously, usually you've got the helmet bucket and you've got the seat on top of this. So you've got a lot of heat in here. Well, this one, it's got an air vent to let some of the heat out. I think that's a pretty cool idea. I don't know what everyone else is like, but every now and then I'll treat myself to some new tools. I bought these Halford's gearless ratcheting spanners. They're a bit of a, you don't really need them, do you? But look how easy it's going to make this job. How nice does it make that? Instead of putting your spanner on, quarter to turn, put it back, quarter to turn, put it back, quarter to turn. I already had a tool that could have done this job quite nicely, because on the ET, the top suspension mount is buried in like a bit of bodywork, so you have to use a crow's foot on the ET. Hands up if you've ever watched Shed Tune on YouTube. Quite a few of his Lambretta projects, he cleans the petrol tank out with white vinegar, so he ends up with a white vinegar and petrol-y mix and has to dispose of it responsibly. If you've watched it, you'll know exactly what I'm on about. And then he does a skit where he accidentally drinks a bit of it in a Pepsi bottle. We're not going to do that with the coolant, not at all. This needs to be disposed of properly, and definitely not drink any of it, because I think something like a tablespoon or so of it can kill you. So here we go. Engine's out. I'm not showing it yet, but this is the damage to this side panel. Just a bit of paint and it's pushed in ever so slightly. Not too worried about that. But there's the damage to the block. There's a nice hole, the conrod's punched in it. And if we look underneath, it's pretty bad here as well. Though I think the shiny bit, that's the piston. With a bit of luck, the head might be salvageable as a spare. Right, so here's where we're at. Old engine's out. Old but hopefully working engine is there. I just want to stick it under the frame, hopefully. Plug it all up. It's going to be with no coolant, just for a quick fire up to check it runs before I go much further, basically. Just take a quick look at this. I found this on both engines. Just behind this plastic cover of the variator cover, there's a little filter, and that's the cooling air to your variator belt. Both of them were absolutely manky. So if you've got a GTS and other scooters that use this version of engine, give this a clean. So, moments of truth. I'm only going to be able to run it a few seconds because there's A, no coolant, and B, no exhaust. That's good. I'm just going to prime it a couple of times. Oh, it might not need a second time. Let's hit the starter. Oh, nothing. It might be that brake light switch though. Right, moment of truth. Take 2. Here we go, moment of truth. Take 3. Mr. Biggie! As Cletus would say, I forgot to put it on the chip. So let's just check it revs. take everything off it again because it makes a right racket. Awesome, so she is actually a runner now. Unfortunately, that's probably going to be as far as I'm going to get in this video. I've got my work cut out, and unfortunately I'm not going to get a chance to work on it for a while because I'm away for a weekend, and then I think we've got family over, so yeah, it's probably going to take a back seat for a while. I was hoping to get it running by the end of the month and swap the insurance off the ET4 onto this, but that might not happen. We'll see.